They evoke with fear perspectives and alternative perspectives of inabilities are coming to the conception of the hours. Here we go, we have much of the interlude of the minds that people alternatively want to think, rethink, and think about it. What is the full meaning of this affidavit? As we come to the conclusion of this kind of the video, it's gonna be having much of the things covered and being iteratively put as the way they are. This is just one of the sessions that you have to love and ever to get and to eat and make sure that you are getting much of the concepts that are coming in and out, because everything has to go all the way to make sure that everything is pinpointing for you to understand, get, and rethink, judge, act, and get it forward. What do I mean? They provoke and evoke with fear. This is the beginning. Wherever you are, thank you very much for you being tuned. It's _Gintu back again as we're going to be starting this kind of the biggest platform called the G, which is the real G coming out from the banana plantation. I've missed the session. Whoa! Wagwan, wherever you're coming from, thank you very much for you being tuned from the overseas, guys. Much of the people, somebody was talking about, oh, Gintu, you don't know the states of America. Woo! I know Boston. Boston. I know Texas. Illinois. California. I know much of the Ohio. New York. Much of the people who knows Washington, D.C. And also we're going to be having Nyabuhanse in the United States of America to make sure that we are representing. Coming out is always Gintu A, Gintu B, Gintu C, Gintu D, exactly. Whatever you are just coming from, thank you very much for you being tuned. It's a crazy moment. I'm going to be making sure that you are just off putting this kind of the stuff here to make sure you're going to be understanding iteratively and getting much of the point how they're going to be coming one-on-one live, because much of the things that are going to be coming from this kind of the platform, it's already getting to the brim point. What do I mean? As we're going to be making sure that you are relaxing, keep it tuned. Let's level it up. And this is the beginning still to make sure they're going to be getting the real vibe of today. We go straight to the point. Much of the action as we're going to be pinpointing what is really by faulting to our own mindset of today. Last time I talked about what has ever been by faulting our own affinity from the backside of much of the YouTubers from Nyabuhanse. Where and how did I speak about Nasto? And I talked about is one of the guys who are the green snakes in green grass. That is the effect, and you have ever seen much of the people talking about, oh, I'm quitting YouTube. They're just lying to you. They're just triggering to know that, oh, am I having people? Am I having some psyche here? There's no one who is just getting out of YouTube. Everything is straightforward. The pathway has to go. That is the real functionality and the proportionality that is there, that they want to make sure that they're just giving you that kind of an heart attack. You know, much of the people, whenever they like you, like, you know, Nasto how he is, you know how he's and talking about to have dimples. So they're going to be talking about, oh, my baby boy, what is the problem? You want to be quitting? Oh, we like whatever you're just bringing here and there. You understand? And much of the people, you understand. They don't want to see Mrs. Flay making some shenanigans east, west, and south. And you understand much of the things how they go. Nasto has much of, let me tell you about the pressure onto the platform. Because what is now coming out to the concession is that Nasto is getting jealousy on why is that this kind of the things are happening this way. So sorry for the who I will ever be messing and talking about, oh, they're going to be having this kind of the point here. We have to go straight to the point. And this is the straightest to the point. So keep it tuned here. You know, as far as everything was in concern, Nasto was having a very big problem whenever I had to introduce the wife. What do I mean in terms of that? Nasto was talking about, yeah, I'm just single this way, I'm ever single this way. As somebody can ever remember, there's a time I hosted Miss Flay and to the villa. And during that day, I was bringing much of the shoppings from Sirari, talking about, because I was the one who was in charge of the transport sector in Kenge village. I was part of the transport sector during the shoppings that were going to be coming, because I'm a chief chef. Whenever things are going to be coming in terms of talk about the kitchen premises, I should be there to check before they could just get to the storage, because much of the people were there. I was the one pumping much of the knowledge to their empty heads so they can just understand and get what is Gintu coming out with, not affiliations of stupidity of the way they think about, they're going to be mindful. They're just crooked and they have to get much of the points from Gintu. And that's what I always talk about. They have to lead as they come so they can just see the way from me, because I always know that this is the straightforward path. This is the straightforward way for us to go. When I just hosted her, at the first moment, I asked her that, how are you? How is your family? How is Nasto? She never talked about anything. One of the subscriber called Tony G. Somebody can just remember. And he's the one who's always selling me to Keng and talking about, Gintu is A, Gintu is B. I want you to do something to Gintu. Crooked of the highest order. That's called the hashish manners of some of the people. They ever talked about, Gintu, whenever you stay loyal. Imagine Kenge ever roasted me. And one of the subscribers talking about, Gintu, stay loyal. I'm going to be constructing your house. Are you mad? Constructing me a house, and you are the people talking about right now. If you could be supporting Gintu, ever liked Gintu, why do you ever go to talk about now this kind of the person do something to this kind of the boy? There's nothing ever happened. And that's what I'm always telling much of the talk about this kind of the crooked family coming to the other side, talking about, you're gonna be arrested. Arrested my foot. Gintu is always very stuck and very confidential, very impact, and waiting for anybody who think about you gonna just come and iteratively think about you gonna just be coming to my home here. Right now, things are crooked. Whoever will arrive here, things are gonna be running authentically, physically, and dealing with him perpendicularly per unit time. That is the real fact. So what is now coming out in Ascension is whereby this kind of the subscriber asked me, why are you introducing her yet Nasto has never introduced her? And they talked about, so Nasto has never introduced this kind of the lady. I never knew. She never told me. So what Nasto was playing is a game that people should not understand and re-estimate him. That he was ever eating much of the money from the sugar mummies who are coming from wherever they were coming from, so they can just fund him. And when Nasto was ever constructing a house, nobody knew that this kind of the people, they were constructing this kind of the house for them to come and stay. So many of them. And they never knew that this kind of a boy could be having such kind of a beautiful lady who is a soul lunatic and confidentiality. Talk about how petite she is, how Latina she is, and whenever Nasto now see 1, 2, 3, Nasto is feeling scarifagistically good and talking about my black, my beauty. The other people, they're going to be following the back. So I don't know which kind of the back we was ever talking about. So this is the real by fault of the time that's going to be coming to the entire system. Because he has never ever told you that, this was my wife. When he saw that things are now becoming crooked, because there are much of the people who told him that we are coming to Africa. Much of the power. One person can propose that I'm coming to Africa this month. I'm coming to this kind of the area. Maybe this is the under scenario. I'm going to be coming to this one. I'm going to be coming this way. So it became like one of the things that they could not even accommodate to himself. And he could just not understand, what am I really doing? What am I really going to be doing to this kind of the way? And how am I going to deal with this kind of the people? He had to introduce the wife. Why could he introduce the wife? So as he can cut much of the affiliations, the leakages, talk about the friendships, talk about the spousement, talk about the arousement of other people who are just thinking about Nasto is just very fantastic, and much of the people subjected themselves unto him, and was knowing that, you know that even sometime Nasto ever talked about to somebody has just promoted you 1,010 US dollars. During that time it was 1,400. And he gave me and talked about, hey, you can just call him so I can just greet him. No, that one doesn't matter. And they talked about, hey, my friend, so why can't I speak to the so I can just appreciate? And he said that you just do a video and appreciate. I talked about, okay, no problem. So much of the YouTubers, that's how they behave. And much of the YouTubers you think about, oh, they're going to be talking about, oh, you have, if a person has talked about, I can just greet. Because, and when I went back and I talked about, yeah, somebody was just talking about this and this, we had a small video. Yes, Nasto, thank you very much for you giving in this. And they like it because this kind of the people, that how they are. That one kind of the person can just come to you and talk about, I want, somebody has promised me that I should give you this kind of the money and I should do a video to that kind of the, but whenever we are just broke at the village, what can you do? Even me, I can just kneel down even so you can just give me money. Because that's what they want. That they want to see that, oh, Gintu now is being given to this kind of the platform, oh, Gintu is just in this kind of the way, oh, Gintu is this. They like such kind of the things to happen. And they are coming and they know that this kind of the person is so broke in a way that you don't understand. Whenever we ever started this kind of the YouTube channel, we are ever using much of the money to upload the video. We are hustling. Kenge is blocking us, talking about we have a YouTube channel, there's no money. So such kind of the scenarios. Whenever you get a good chance for you to gain money, you talk about, let me do such kind of the money. And whenever Kenge ever say that, oh, this kind of the person now is gaining much of the money and influence from out, you're going to be cutting it short because it has to pass through him before it comes to you. That is the very big default that is always flowing from Kenge's position. And that was the behavior of Nasto also. And he was behaving like a person who somebody can never come out and be sent money direct to him. So they were thinking about one day they are ever to be in such kind of a position. So right now, whenever he's coming to talk about I'm gonna be quitting YouTube, that's just the postcoms of the day. Those are hula baloos. We don't talk about administer such kind of the things. And when he's talking about when I just met with Nasto, he talked about, oh bro, you ate me and you just gave much of the things outside. I talked about, yes, because I told you a reactor is a reactor. Whenever comes, let's meet there because you don't want us to have a video. So how do you want me to do? I have to make sure that I'm putting everything to equisums. That this is how it goes. Because I told him, because whenever you are sleeping and talking about your dogs have been evacuated from your own, talk about the area. Why didn't you tell us how this kind of the person jumped in and how they just opened the padlock and this kind of the dogs went, and tell us what were you doing during that time and how can you just come out of that kind of the position? If you are just making sure that you are told that sell this kind of the thing so as you can just get this, just go straight to the point. That's the point. But when you want to talk about mahindering us here, it is something which is very awkward. And the real fact is, when we just tackle to see this kind of the issues, this kind of a guy is a person who likes this kind of the emotions that he doesn't want to show you that this is how it is. But at his heart, he is feeling very, very bad. And I'm telling you that as a fact, because much of the people, they have tried it, you have tried it, and it's always making things to come out awkward. That's the real fact. But when we are just going straight to the point, we have been pointing the points and making sure that everything is coming out. That is the real fact. When we go back to another scenario, you have just checked. This just last time they ever talked about, oh, this kind of the YouTubers, thank you very much, Kenge, for now maintaining the silence. Now whose silence is making? So it's now the silence is now coming back because they have now triggered, because how can you just praise a person who is going to evacuate and disturb the dead? Very stupid. Imagine Kenge is disturbing the dead, just going to take some people's bodies and dead bodies and thinking about it's just the jewels, thinking about it's maybe something which is califragistically good. Stupidity of the highest order. Whereby when we just look at it keenly, how you don't have a metal detector and you don't have anything. So it's like a full, this kind of a full commando, talking about a stupid, lunatic and lunatic psychopath traveling commando who cannot even know which kind of the commanding he can ever do is thinking about the command is to bring everything onto the platform, going without no metal detector, or the eyes are the metal detectors, I don't know, or the sunglasses are metal detectors, I don't know. But how can you go and excavate a dead body, which is cremated body, and you're talking about, yeah, I have to open now the village of the Argentinian long nose. It's now very, very aggressive of him. How can an African come from Africa, come and live in his own mother-in-law and father-in-law, provided with food? Imagine cucumberizing their daughter from the same position and talking about it's just a very humid person, very stupidical, and it's the same person excavating people dead bodies here, the cremated bodies here. And it's like when you are in Africa, talk about in Africa, we don't have such kind of the cremations muchly, because much of the people talk about you are going in with such kind of they call it the box inside, and pop, they make sure that they putting in sand and you are buried completely. But there, much of the people have divorced. There's no land. Much of the people want to have a small concert and talk about cremate it, put it here, and it will rest in peace. It's the same. But it's like now coming a Mzungu coming from Argentina, like Argentinian long nose, come here and talk about I want to build a story building, and whenever he's excavating down, he takes the bones of I talk about the remains of a dead, talk about the dead, and talk about, yeah, you know, I've got a jewelry, I've got, are you stupid? So sometimes we're talking about an African person can make the other people to look stupid. Like right now, the Argentinians, the village that Kenge was, they are looking at Nyabuasa like stupid crocodile people here. Because they think about, oh, this is how an African behave. This is how the people are not having some brain. Can't you even read? You are a traveling commando. You understand the English. You talk about you can understand which is a poor and stupidical language he ever speaks, talking about, you know, hey, I've traveled to 70 countries my foot. But you cannot know a cremated box. You're talking about you are a learned person to your university. Don't bring the stupid command unto us, because we understand A to Z. That's the fact. When we strategize ourselves and talk about if we could be a very fantastic person who understands, this is the real fact about this. A person who have ever traveled for more than 70 countries, you can never understand that this is a cremated box, or talk about a cremated, a person has been put in such kind of a box and just stored at a very humble area. Maybe that kind of a person was very ill and he liked to sit in such kind of a rock. Now you're going to talk about, now you're the first person. Do you think that the villagers never knew that that kind of a person was put in such kind of a zone? And you're talking about, hey, and the video is already taken out of the platform. What do I mean? Kenge is no longer a YouTuber right now. It's just faking it. It's just thinking about things, how they're gonna be going. You're gonna be brought in Africa like a Cherokee drum. I'm telling you, you're gonna be hit one day, and he doesn't understand it. Right now, much of the people from the same family of the Argentinian long nose, they know, because even right now here, you talk about, oh, let me dig here, maybe like the way I was just digging out the fish ponds there. And I found, whenever I'm digging, they find something like what? They find something like a casket. How will they? Everybody in the village, they will know, Kintu has dug a fish, and I'm not the one who is digging. I'm not the one who is the people who are excavating, they're the people who transform it. The people he showed that, oh, I have found this kind of a small thing. And whenever, you know, I'm not even synthesizing. Whenever he went to open that, he thinks about his jewelries. And when he was shaking, how was it shaking? Some people who knows about the cremated bodies, and he understands this kind of the people. When you shake it, is it shaking like metals? He thought about the diamonds? You know, sometimes I'm not getting, whenever I can just put myself in Kenge's position. Right now, I'm in Kenge's shoes. Now, let me think about me. Guys, I found, yeah, a mystery. Oh, I'm going to be rich. Oh, very stupidical. You are going to be rich for what? Imagine a person is talking about is a millionaire. Again, whenever he found something small, like, let me tell you one story. When Kenge found when Kenge found much of the stones that were available to be placed onto the fish ponds of his own, when I was arranging and putting much of the boys to arrange them at the fish pond, he found much of the shiny blue of stones. Talk about the hardcore. And he talked about, yeah, we might be rich. This kind of the hardcore, they're coming from a mining area. I like to brought this kind of the stones here so as we can find something in. So I'm gonna be rich. Oh, you look very keen. We're gonna be rich. And he's talking about is the millionaire. If you're a millionaire, are you not rich? And that's when I was starting to condemn. And I started now to doubt this kind of humiliated and humiliated man who cannot even think beyond the nature. You think about everything is just going to be coming to your empty eyes and you see with one. Sometimes don't affiliate yourself and talking about now we're going to be rich. Oh, mom, Argentina long nose, mom. Pick this one here. Oh, we're going to be going with this one. Yeah, get it to our room there. I'm going to be coming to show you how the diamond looks like. And you're talking about, oh, I've traveled for more than you have not even catch a diamond. That's why you don't have anything. That's why. That's why you always talk about somebody can buy as a jewel, or somebody can buy as a ring, which is a diamond ring. You have never seen it. You cannot buy it. Because if the person is rich and you're being given a fine of 250,000 US dollars, yet you're talking about you're rich, now it means that you have $1 million. But now, if you have zero about it, you cannot even pay a fine that you are being affiliated upon. Talk about you are just given such kind of a fine, so you can just go back to the USA, and you don't have such kind of the money for you to do. What are you going to do? It's just a byfault of the time. You just continue cucumberizing at the same position. You'll be a very stupid African who is just going to stay in their in-laws and being fed with their in-laws and given food with there and also eating the other food, the same family. And you're talking about, yeah, I'm a millionaire. And into the right position is again coming back to abscond our own channels. Imagine a channel of 4,000 subscribers, yet we have more than 560,000. You are coming to check a person who has 4,000. Very stupid. And you're talking about, oh, I'm a millionaire. How can a millionaire behave in a way that it's very crooked? In a way that even somebody cannot even come out and talk about this is a mystery. This is a hula baloo. This is a joke. This is like a joke. I've never seen Odemaya, who is 1.7 million subscribers, coming to talk about the younger YouTubers who are below. Yet that kind of a person, whenever we combine all of us in Nyabohanse, we combine ourselves, including the Kenge fraternity who they think about they have it. Include them. Everybody, even me, include me in. Sum all the total of the subscribers. We take it back to Odemaya. We don't even get to 1.2. We don't get even to 1.2. Imagine. And somebody's talking about, oh, he's a half of us. We are a half of him. And you're talking about, oh, I'm a bigger YouTuber, I have influence. Now the person you wanted to give the work of making sure that we're going to be importing you the cars is now in jail. And you're just proposing that, oh, Ginto are going to be taking this kind of the people to the jail. Very stupid call minds. That we are competing, and you know the competition, whether you are in a company, whether you are in what, whether you are in an office, competing to a higher chance, a higher level, a higher seat. You know the competition that you have to offer yourself, that you are the one who can make it. Whenever we are talking about this is how it goes and this is what it by fault, why didn't I report this kind of the case? Whenever I ever talked bad about us, he just deducted subscribers from us and thinking about is the God of Nyabohanse. And right now he's talking about, oh, because we have now evoked this kind of perspection, which is stupidical perspection, lunatic imbroglio, and a very stupidical lunatic instances that they're going to be coming from this kind of the position, talking about, oh, this kind of the boys, they're working with machetes between Gintu and the Condad, who is working with the machete. Do you always gauge yourself whenever you want to talk, or you don't understand what the conduct is doing unto the village? And right now, he has been warned. He's going to be taken over from Nyambwanse here, because he was thinking about now he's going to be the dominant person. We're going to be now the person controlling everything in Nyambwanse. Now we have studied it, okay? We are now getting direct to the portfolio and making sure that he's going to be taken back to his original land. Because he think about he's going to be controlling everybody. He's going to be controlling everything. He's going to be now making things that he's going to be the chief of this kind of the area. And they want to be so dominant and they want to control the people. They came and got into this kind of the position. Right now, he cannot even talk to me. Right now, if he want to talk to me, maybe talk to my dogs. He has no point to tell us. Because he thinks about everything is just going. Look. When I want to tell you this kind of the perspective about the village of Kenge, do you know that the Kondad and the Conmom, much of the villagers are owing, they owe much of the villagers a lot of money. And they have ever taken much of the assets, including lands, including assets like trees. Talking about are going to be cutting this kind of the trees, are going to be paying you money. Talk about the construction of Lady J's house. Do you know that they have ever they hired, and they have just talked about they talk about, how can I talk about it? They have gone and they have just talked about, please help us this kind of the trees, so they can just cut and we will just look for you the money. Do you know that much of the villagers are still looking forward to be paid with this kind of the family? Yet they're talking about, this and that, this, and people have decades before even they could be paid. Look at what is just between the Kenge fraternity and also Mama Ann's family. It's because that they talk about the Machete man supplied milk to Baba Ann for several months, and he could not afford to pay. He said that, go and cut me the plot that Kenge is living. And he's talking about, I've never talked about you are a land grabber. You are a land scammer. That's the real fact. You are taking the opportunity. You are an opportunist. That when this kind of the challenges get to this kind of the brim, you cannot help. You're talking about there's no solidity. There's no solidity. He's always talking about your thing should just help you. That cut me the plot, I give you money, then I add you another money so you can sort such kind of the issue. The village, there's no day will ever talk about we can come as a village and alliteratively think about this one. Is ever evoking with stupidity, ever evoking with horribility, and thinking about its inhumanity. And they are talking about, other people, they're just feeling jealousy, they're feeling bad about us. Who is feeling bad about the Kompurat, the Puspiat, the Kantkias, and this kind of the affiliated family that they're thinking about they have just made it in life? Yet when we go strategically and we see how the things are just running, foolish of the highest order. Imagine right now, the person is talking about, I have learned, I've gone to India. You have never thought about your children, so that whenever they see this kind of a small box, they know that a cremated person has ever been put there like an ash and is stored where it could just be cool. Maybe it's a proposal of that kind of the person that when I die, I should be placed alongside this kind of a stone, or alongside this kind of a water spring, or alongside my house, or on top of the, on top of the rooftop, or throw this kind of the ashes and to the ocean. I will just feel comfortable. And the Kenge is going to evacuate and just disturb the dead. And they're talking about, we have made it in life. Who has made it? Right now, we're going to be coming here. Nobody, guys, I'm telling you, people are going to be suffering. Because what I'm just telling you as today is you can never do such kind of the things and excavate, talk about it, disturb the dead and take their own bones, and you're just walking with it around around the village, and that kind of we can call it the juju cannot get you. I'm telling you, Kenge right now is nothing. He has nothing to offer to the society. Because how can you go and take some people's cremated bodies and you're talking about you're just a very big YouTuber? We're going to be making it popular so that people can just know. Whenever you're going to be going to this kind of the village, they know that you are a dead excavator. And we're excavating bones, excavating dead bodies. And you're talking about, yeah, you know, they have jealousy about me. Yet you're the person who is looking for them yourself, because karma is real. And when you are ever doing stupidity, you're talking about have helped much of the people from January or since you went to Argentina up to date. Can you calculate how many boys have you helped? Calculate how many ladies have you helped? Imagine even talk about the luggage came with the bogo, and he talked about this kind of the things going to be getting to much of the society. You're talking about they should wait for me, and you're talking about I'm helping much of the people. Stupidity or nonsense. So sometimes when we go direct to the point and pinpoint where necessary, we don't acknowledge to have this kind of the conscience of a humiliating person, of a disgracing person, of a very lunatic psychopath person who can come and talk about, oh, I should lead this way. We have to follow because you are the one who legalized it, so as you can just know how the YouTube works. Now you're going to take some dead bodies, and even I told you that Kang is eating dead money, because that is the fact. Why am I saying so? Look at, talk about the Ross Ridge, rest in peace. He took the money, 300, talk about 3,000 USD, and went with it. And that was the transport to Argentina. Look at what he wants to do to Argentina. Feeding from the same person. Every time is Pius. I don't know, my in-law. And you are coming to tell us, oh, you are just a very legend person. Stupidity or nonsense. And when we go back to the same regime, look at whenever much of the people contributed so as they can just make sure that Casta is getting something good. And you're talking about now you are including yourself. Why couldn't you abstain and contribute? Why are you again coming out to talk about guys support, and the GoFundMe is coming from the same person you ever looted the land and you gave in Africa, and the same person you ever came and you just miserably used the much of the ladies here so you can just sell them to this kind of the psychopaths and talking about, yeah, you know, yeah, my friend, oh, you're gonna be coming to Africa, oh, to change the village, change my village, the food. And you're talking about the only person who you have to talk about, he's gonna be changing. How can you change a village, including your talk about the conduct, who doesn't go hand in hand with the villagers? How are you going to change the village? Imagine chasing people from their own original land, and you're talking about changing the village. When we go straight to the point, this kind of the people, they lack the manners. That's the fact. We go back to Nasto. Nasto, I told Nasto that is one of the biggest jokers. Because even Nasto, when I can just recall, he ever came to my own fish pond. It was on 25th May 2021 to film the video. So I was fishing. I think it was on 21st Monday, 22nd it was Tuesday, 23rd was Wednesday, it was on Friday. He came. Go and check. 25th May 2021. He came. And he filmed the video from my own fish ponds. And that was the time that I could just talk about, oh, what is this kind of the person doing? He can never even tell us. Even I was having a phone, he could not tell us, this is the YouTube, this is how you can do. He was just filming. I was thinking about, is he going to be taking much of the videos and taking me to the television? Because we ever knew Nasto is a person who is dealing with journalism. But to the far end, we just fish, we just talk about, we harvested fish, we scrubbed them, talk about bisecting, scrubbing them, and we washed them, we took them to the town who was filming. We ever talk about, we inserted fire, take out the fire, put on fire, and put up there some oil, we just put there some fish, salted them, put them to the sun drying. We started frying. Much of the people came, they were buying. He was filming the video, how the first one he tested and talking about, yeah, it's very sweet, very red fish. And right now, is coming to tell us that, oh, because Ogintu is now rising in this way, people never understood. Because I ever employed them once upon a time. And even I was paying them with fish, and they never understood that even I started doing this kind of the things. I was ever employing people of above me so they can just work for me. Even Nasto was part of my program. I ever I ever paid him, whenever it was not in terms of monetarily, but I paid him with some fish. So they can just, and I was asking everybody, do you want raw fish or you want the fried fish? They talk about, yeah, the raw fish I could give you 4. But the fried one, I'm going to be giving you 2. We understand each other. And I was paying them. And when they were stealing me and going and taking some liquor, I don't know. They know themselves and talking about, oh, this kind of the people, this way, this way. I know, my friend. Things whenever they're going to be coming. I'm not a small boy. I was ever small but very strategic. And I knew that this is how we're going to be getting forward. This is how we're going to be defaulting to this kind of the genome. And this is how we're going to be getting to this kind of the area. But now whenever we talk about this way, they're talking about, no, you know, oh, we started this kind of the YouTube very far. Oh, yeah, there's no matter of that one. What matters is, are we going? That is what is there. And when he's talking about we're going to be quitting the YouTube, nobody's bothered. What we are bothered is, let him stick to the point. If he's a man, he will never stick to the point. I'm telling you, he never stick to the point. Where will he get such kind of the things so as he can just go and throw some things in terms of the white camps there? So some things will just default and come out very clearly, right on time. And that's the fact. So the little fact that they're going to be coming out, I saw even Mukaro talking about, oh, guys are going to be getting out of the reaction, you know, much of the... We can understand her. Because right now, she has been provoked with fear. That the striking is there. You know, once upon a time, I can just talk about when we were hearing about strike, we are talking about, this kind of the person can do whatever. Oh, they're going to be talking about a strike. Or me, I thought about even it's YouTube that's giving me people the strike. When I came to know that a person decomposing himself and sitting with the stupid mind, which talking about ever lying, ever scamming, ever complaining, ever disgracing, ever ungrateful, is just decomposing himself, talking about, oh, you know, I'm the biggest person. I am a biggest, talk about celebrity. Oh, I want you to take this kind of the channels down, or reporting everything. A person who has a mind, a person who thinks critically, a person who thinks normally. Very stupid of the highest order. And very broken English. I thought about whatever you're just speaking. Speak, if you're speaking the way you are just speaking always onto the video, you are speaking goodly. Why can't you write the what you are just speaking? Because it's something which is fluent. But whenever you come to the writing, you are just crookedly writing things that are not even there. Whenever we just open that kind of the paper with the talk about PDH, every line was having lines. Talk about the blue, green, red lines. Talking about the spelling is very poor. And it's the man who's talking about, I went to the university, I took the, talk about accountant, oh, I was doing the job. When I told you that Kenge was doing the job at the gate of the bank, calling people that customers, welcome, and we talk about administer yourself, and talk about you can just make sure that you are getting the files there, and you can open your, talk about you can open your own accounts there. And he's lying to you that he has ever worked, which kind of the desk, which kind of the operation in the bank. He has never told you. It's just looking for the people so they can just be analyzed and be admitted to that kind of the bank, so they can just do much of the job there. And that was the job. And whenever you're going to be at the gate telling that, oh, where do you want to go? Like the talk about not even the tellers. Talk about whenever you are in the bank, talk about, yeah, you can follow this way. Oh, how can we just help you? What do you want? Oh, this and that. Go to this table, go to that table. And he's talking about, oh, you know, hey, I ever... Don't look at us as we are buttocks, my friend. Don't look at us as we are buttocks here. The fact has to be taken as the fact. But when we go direct to Mkaro, it's a fact that she was fearing this kind of the obsession that was coming from the other party. Talking about, we're going to be closing your channels, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, we're going to be doing those ones, striking A, B, C, D, East, West, and South, and Center, every time. Everywhere is the strike. And she was feared because if you want to lose a channel, how can you just lose it and start again? So it's going to be becoming so hectic. So right now, whenever she's going to be talking about, she's going to be quitting the, talk about the YouTube, she's going to be venturing to chicken, I've seen there. Well and good. Best thing is one. Everybody should go forward. The reaction will ever stand to be the reaction. And again to stay to make sure that I'm strengthening the records. There's no one who can talk about, oh, now if they're going to be coming. Some people are just talking about, oh, Gintu, Kenge is coming to the village, you're going to be taking you down. This kind of the bogus people come. I'm not bothered with much of the talk from, talk about much of the people talking from the subscription and the comment section. I'm not bothered with those ones there. The fact is, whoever thinks about you can do it as a subscriber to me. Because you think about, oh, it's very easy for you to accuse, to bring. Right now, everything is prepared to make sure that we are ready and very immensely ready to make it happen. If you want to attack us, attack if you want, because I was ever been promised to be deleted. We are waiting for it. I was being promised to be shot. I'm just waiting for it. A psychopath cannot just bring his own stupidity as a migrant and think about going to be taking everything from the society. That's the stupidity of the highest order, and that's the real fact about it. And to the real Osquam and the real ways when we want to calculate our own affinity and get forward. You know, much of the people, they're having that kind of the jealousy. That why this kind of the people doing this? Why this kind of the people doing that? Why this kind of the people progressing this way? That is what gives them a difficult way. And they're talking about, you know, oh, I'm gonna be coming to, oh, you are working with machetes here. Oh, we are just making sure that, you know, when a person is very not understanding and he ever fears to come back to the village because you're gonna be onto your own neck. You know, some of the people think about, oh, much of the people are fearing them, oh, because they talk about they're going to be having, there's no money there. No money is there. Look at even Lady J was complaining, oh, you know, guys, oh, I don't have even talk about the ballast, oh, and the sister came and overcoo and talked about, and the sister talking about, oh, I've got a land, or I've got this, or I've got this. There's nothing there. They have nothing to offer because they're talking about we have used a lot of money to travel. Who promised you to travel? Look at whenever they talk about the Conrad here, no, talk about the demon. I went to Mombasa. She was arrested and nobody could just know. And that's the point that Gintu is always available. So they can just note you and give you much of the things. She was arrested in Mombasa. And the real fact is, what you think about you're going to be doing to Gintu, my friend, I'm telling you, it will come back to you and it will come with a bang. That's the fact. And they think about, oh, you know, guys, when the Conrad ever came to my home here, he was being set with his own crooked and the stupidical, lunatic psychopathism children talking about you just now, you are an old person, you just go and find Gintu wherever he is. And it's just whenever, and the stupidity of a person is bringing some wilting cucumbers here and talking about now I want to shoot Gintu. That's the stupidity of the highest order. You understand such kind of the issues here. And this kind of the people, they're just sitting in their own, the very cool car, and they're just waiting for Gintu to be arrested and be handcuffed and be processed and be taken to this kind of the stupid lunatic car which I have just packed very away from my home, and now I'll be just lured to them and be told that now we have him, let's go and do whatever we need. And when they came and failed, and he went back and told them that, oh, we have not got him, so this and this, and Lady J is coming to say about Gintu is a criminal and is now on a search and is on a run. You think about Gintu can just run? The only thing is evacuating from such kind of the reaction. And they wanted to make sure that they're just throwing me in as they went to Mombasa. So when they came back and I came back from Nairobi, then I was shooting my video. Then this kind of the stupid guy, which is Lady J, with the stupid mouth, with a very horrible head, and thinking about gonna be looking me like Matiko, who is just being scammed here and taken to a rehabilitation center so they can just formulate the backside very fantastic so they can just continue dedizing themselves there and applying baby oil and think about they're gonna be coming back to Gintu. Stupidity. Gintu is no longer available unto your own race. That's the fact. So whenever they just lacked me again, he's just talking about, you know, this kind of the boy, I'm going to be deleting him because of some stupidity. It's going to be coming back to you, and wait for it. Because you think about whenever they went now to Mombasa, when Lady J came back and talked about, bye, David, bye. And they talk about whenever she was just getting by, she was arrested, and that's why she ran from there and come back to home so as she can just come and see whatever is just getting forward. That's the real fact. And nobody could just tell you that the demon, she was arrested, and the way she was thinking about Gintu gonna be arrested, I told you that keep tuned, because I don't pray to such kind of the people and the stupid things. You're just praying that, oh, I'm just the leader of the church, I'm this and then this. Whenever it comes to the real fact, God doesn't sleep. God doesn't wear a short. I have to rectify the mistake and make sure that we are strengthened forward. Because a person cannot come whenever I'm just not even monetized. You're asking me 20,000 because of talking about you are coming to the village and talking about you have ever used my name. No, you have to pay me. And stupidity turning to me at 360 and thinking about you have buttocks. You have nothing, my friend. and you're thinking about now gonna be vamoosed or aroused with the stupid, horrible frames that they're talking about their buttocks, that you're gonna be talking about, oh, everybody, it's just like a highway. Every road, every car is just using it. From the Pro Box, from the rollies, from the trucks, everything is using it. And whenever such kind of the roads, nothing can ever talk about, you can never, it's only a puncture or a breakdown. You can just get a breakdown or a puncture only and talk about onto the road. But the other things, there's nothing. It's either you enter as you enter. You understand? If somebody can just understand me. So such kind of the bodies, such kind of the cars, they are just rejects. We don't use them. They're just like the cars from Uganda here. Talk about the second, third hand countries here. Third hand here. And they're talking about, oh, you know, look at my buttocks here. And you are wearing a flag of Jamaica. And you're talking about, oh, look at this kind of the buttocks, how they are. And they're looking like awkward. Then we are checking them as poo. And you're talking about, oh, you're showing people the surface area exposed to the poo. And talking about, oh, look at how the surface area is aligned. Oh, look at somebody can just lubricate. It's well prompted together. It's well prompted out. And this is how it's going to be. A missionary style, oh, hen style, oh, cuckoo style, oh, this kind of the stupidity of the hairstyle. We are not interested with that one. The fact is, bring us to the real fantastic vibe so they can just go with it. But don't tell us that, oh, you are this way, you are that way, you are that way. Whatever you promise that you're going to be doing to Gint, you're going to be coming back to you. That's the real fact. So keep it tuned, keep it locked. Much of this is going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. It's going to be ending this kind of the video from this kind of the platform, one-on-one from the banana plantation. We are back and back to this kind of the moment to make sure that this kind of the people gonna be lined up to the stretch forward bad way so they can just make it happen. And this is just an end of this kind of the video. If you're first time you watching this kind of the video, thank you very much for you being tuned and subscribing, like and sharing as we're gonna be making it happen. This is the end. Wow.